to mention in the video, I am experiencing some pretty bad health problems from my using. Um, I started losing weight really bad. I lost muscle really bad. I never could hold fat very well, but I always could hold muscle really well. And now I'm having trouble holding muscle. I sweat all the time. I have trouble breathing. And one doctor seems to think that it's a heart problem, but Dr. above her won't listen. So they all just keep telling me that I'm not eating, and nobody really wants to listen to me. So until I get that figured out, I'm skinny, I'm a little shaky, and I'm a little short of breath, and I'm sorry. But maybe sometime I'll find a doctor that will listen and I'll get it taken care of. So my name is Ashley, and hold on, I gotta readjust. And I am an addict, and I'm an addict who has completely messed her life up and would not be anywhere if I wasn't blessed with my tiny but amazing family. So, when I was young, I lived a pretty normal childhood with my mom and my dad and my grandma. And my dad and me didn't really get along too well, so I lived kind of a sheltered life. Definitely wasn't abused, but my dad wasn't very nice. And I spent a lot of time grounded. I was like very sheltered. I had friends and stuff, but I didn't really get to go out and do a lot. I had so many chores while my brothers and sisters just sat around and did nothing, which they weren't there all the time. They were only half sisters and half brother. But when I was 15, my family broke apart and my mom got depressed and my dad moved out. And um, so I got basically total freedom and I started messing around with like pills and I started drinking a lot and I started smoking a lot of weed and I would have these massive huge parties at my house like every single weekend and just like get blackout drunk and smoke a lot of weed and I was experimenting with anything you would put in front of me. I wasn't shooting or doing hard drugs by then, but I snorted cocaine once and I was doing some pills. And the first time that I overdosed was actually in my 10th grade English class. I took some pills that I didn't know what they were. A friend gave to me. So I said, literally do anything you put in front of me because she literally gave me a pill and I took it and then I overdosed. And then when I was 18 or 19, right after I graduated high school, I got very depressed because I live in a tiny middle of nowhere town with like no future and no hope. And I just really don't want to be here and I wanted to travel. But everybody here's poor and nobody had ever really been out of the area and nobody wanted to travel with me. So I got really depressed and I met a guy that had just came here from Florida and he introduced me to heroin because I was doing a lot of pills and he was like, you know what, let's just make this cheaper and easier and introduced me to heroin. And then he introduced me to crack and then we ran away to go to Florida to go to rehab because my mom thought that we stole her GPS, so she called the cops on us and got my phone taken. And then the next day, me and him jumped on a bus and went to a rehab, and it was in Sarasota, Florida. And I was so scared and so excited, but it was so much fun. And then later, we ran away from rehab, and then I went on a cruise with a different friend that moved to Florida, and we went to the Bahamas, and that was a lot of fun. And then I got off the cruise ship and I got to experience being homeless for the first time. And then I also shot meth for the first time. And then I got to be a stripper for the first time also because my friend, once I got off the cruise ship, the friend that I went on the cruise with took off to a different state. And then I went and hung back out with the guy that I moved down there with that I was like crazy in love with by this time. And so we started shooting meth with this girl that he was like living out of his car with. And so so I started being a stripper and we had a hotel room and, we had lots of fun. And then because I didn't want to be the only one making the money anymore, not that I didn't like being a stripper, it was honestly so much fun. I got to go dance in Tampa at Showgirls and it was awesome because I used to be really hot before I destroyed my looks. But So then he took off and left me with this random girl living in the middle of Florida. We were in Polk County, Florida at this time. And he left me living out of her car with her. And then, so that was a lot of fun. And then we stayed at the Doughboys Hotel, or motel, I should say. And um, then finally I ended up going back to Sarasota and I lived with my cousin. And then me and the same guy, we got on a train and we went back to the state that we were originally from. And I was just going to visit, but he was going to stay here. But I got kicked out of my cousin's house and I had to stay here. And then it's just been a downward spiral ever since. And then I had my daughter a little bit later and I got clean for a few years. And then I met a different guy and he brought drugs back around and I really fell for him. And I don't fall for people very easy. So, I didn't really want to leave him. And then he brought around drugs. And then it was just really hard because I tried so hard to like be a good mom and be clean and all that other stuff. And then I got carried away with him for a few years. And it was about 2.5 years. And then about 2018, I decided to start getting clean because I went to jail at the end of 2017. And then I got out, and in 2018, I started trying to do Suboxone, but I was relapsing every now and then due to not being able to get it very easy because it wasn't in my area. And so I was off and on being clean and then being high and being clean and then being high. And then I got on methadone and I did really good on that for the most part. And then towards the end, I started getting high a little bit again. And then I got back on Suboxone and now I've been clean ever since then. But I've burned all my bridges. I've ruined because I don't live in a very big area. There already wasn't much to start off with here. And I forgot to mention I have a disability. So my eyes, they make me look high. Oh, please ignore my nails. I don't have any on right now. They won't stay on. So for some reason, I can't keep nail polish on or press-ons or anything. But, so anyways, where was I? But yeah, so I've been clean and I've been having to stay with my mom because I've got no other options for places to live now. I've done ruined them all. I've got no friends because they're all still getting high. I have a disability that makes it hard for me to get a job, not because I can't really see, because I know that there's tons of people that have jobs that can't see, but people turn me down because of the way that they look, because I look high even when I'm not. So nobody wants an employee that looks high. So now, between not being able to drive and having a child and everything and not being able to get a job very easy, and it's really hard, and I'm trying very hard to get my life back together by finding something I can do at home. And I'm very limited on space, on privacy, on money, on everything. I've got no plan and no idea what I'm going to do. So this is my journey. One thing I am trying to do is I'm trying to get my mom's house cleaned back up because I helped destroy it, and it's been very neglected through the years due to my grandma getting old, me being on drugs, my mom working all the time, just the family not having time to really focus on our house. And now I'm finally off drugs and really want a nice place to live again. And so I'm trying to get it fixed up for me, for my mom, and for my family. But it's really hard with no money. So it's another reason I'm trying to find a nice work at home thing that I can do and make some money. I've tried making cosmetics, which I wasn't bad at, but I don't have enough storage for ingredients. I might start making candles because I've tried doing palettes and again, not enough storage. The direct marketing stuff, I never can get anywhere with there. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is my start to try to find something. So thank you guys.